Okay, hold on. Did the Monarch season finale just give us a telepathic Titan handshake, a time-traveling goodbye, and a massive Rodan reveal all in 1 hour? We need to talk, because things on Skull Island just got absolutely wild. What is up, everyone? Welcome back. If you're like me, your brain is probably still vibrating a little bit after that Monarch. Legacy of Monster Season 2 finale. I mean, we knew things were going to be big, but I don't think any of us expected it to get this emotional or this complicated with the timeline. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. We've got a lot to unpack today, from why Godzilla basically pulled a not-my-problem move, to the heartbreak of Kentaro's downward spiral, and of course, that massive Season 3 teaser that has every MonsterVerse fan screaming. So, grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's break down exactly what happened in Where We Belong and what it means for the future of the Hollow Earth.
Don't exceed where Brenda took it. We need to keep everything stable until Kong shows up.
Setting the stage, the Skull Island mess. So, let's pick up right where the chaos started. Remember back in episode 9, Godzilla basically plays bodyguard for Co-Cai, our new favorite Titan X, and escorts her to Skull Island. But then, Big G just leaves. It's like he walked her to the front door of the party and said, "Have fun, try not to die," and went back to the ocean. Lee was hoping Godzilla would either take her out or throw her back into the Axis Mundi, but Godzilla's vibe was very much, "This isn't my monkey, and it's definitely not my circus." But you know who did care? Kong. The big guy was already agitated because Co-Cai was in his backyard. And here's where Isabel, our resident apex villain, gets real crafty. She knows if Kong and Co-Cai actually sit down for a chat, they'll realize they have a common enemy, her. So, she uses these speaker-laden choppers to blast the sound of skull crawlers all over the island. It's basically a giant acoustic distraction to keep Kong busy while she does the unthinkable. Isabel knocks out Co-Cai and installs those neural implants, the ones May programmed under duress. The goal? Turn Co-Cai into a mind-controlled puppet to kill Kong. Why? Because Isabel wants to play God with time travel, and Kong is just bad for business. It's cold, right?
Shame. I could have had years with him. He could still be alive.
The emotional core, Keiko, Lee, and the past. While the Titans are getting ready to rumble, we get some of the best character moments of the series. Lee and Keiko are trekking through the jungle, and they're having this heavy conversation about Bill Randa. Keiko finally realizes that Bill didn't abandon their son, Hiroshi. He was just a guy trying to put his family back together using science he barely understood. They figure out that Skull Island is basically the grand central station of rifts. If they can get Co-Cai back to the rift where they found the capsules, they can send her home. But then, things get tense between our two leads. Lee drops the bombshell about his time-traveling pep talk. He tells Keiko that when he was in the Axis Mundi, he saw his younger self and stopped him from saving Keiko earlier. Now, Keiko is rightfully ticked off. She's thinking, if you'd let him save me, I could have raised my son. But Lee, and this is where it gets trippy, is terrified of the butterfly effect. He didn't know if changing the past would blink Kentaro and Cate out of existence. It's that classic fixed point in time dilemma. Was Lee right? Was he wrong? It's a messy human choice, and man, you can feel the pain in that scene. The battle? Kong versus Co-Cai. All right, let's get to the heavy metal. The fight starts. Kong arrives, looking for a fight, and Co-Cai is being boosted by those apex implants. Isabel is cranking the enraged dial to 11, but here's the turning point. Cate, Keiko, and the Monarch crew manage to infiltrate the base. And what do? They don't just shut things down. They open the hangar doors to the containment cell. And guess what's inside? Co-Cai's egg. The moment Co-Cai sees her baby, the mom instinct completely fries the apex tech. It's like her maternal bond was stronger than any computer code May could ever write. And this part got me. Co-Cai shows her egg to Kong. Kong, who we all know was orphaned as a baby, just stops. He gets it. He realizes he was being played. In probably the most moment in MonsterVerse history, the King of Skull Island literally steps aside and lets her pass. It's a huge moment for Kong's character, showing he's not just a brawler, but a protector with a soul.
Stop! She's putting ideas in your head!
Dad went to Axis Mundi.
Cate's big moment and the time bridge. So, the fight is over, but Co-Cai is lost. Her brain is scrambled from the implants, and she's headed the wrong way. Lee shows up in a Chinook with speakers, trying to play the Titan song to lead her to the rift, but of course, the speakers blow out. This is where Cate steps up. She uses that weird, telepathic empath connection she developed in the Axis Mundi. She basically holds Co-Cai's hand through her mind and leads her to the portal. As Co-Cai heads back home, the rift stays open just a second too long. And this was the tearjerker. Old Lee and Keiko look into the rift and see young Lee from the 60s looking back. It's a bridge across time. Young Lee says something we can't hear, but old Lee translates. He's saying goodbye. They all get their closure. Keiko says goodbye to the past, and we finally see the two versions of Lee Shaw acknowledge each other. It feels like the show is saying, okay, the flashbacks are done. We're moving forward now. The aftermath, Monarch 2.0. Flash forward 6 weeks. We're back at Monarch HQ. There's a memorial for Hiroshi, which is bittersweet, but the mission isn't over. Director Reddick reveals that Monarch is evolving. He puts Cate, Keiko, May, and Tim into a new, smaller, off-the-books unit. The goal: stop Isabel and Kentaro. Yeah, let's talk about Kentaro for a second. Our guy has gone off the deep end. He's so obsessed with saving Hiroshi from the past, essentially trying to resurrect him, that he's teamed up with the villains. It's a total 180 for his character, and it's going to make Season 3 incredibly awkward at the Randa family Thanksgiving, let me tell you. The big one, Rodan. But wait, there's more. We see Lee Shaw in Thailand. He's tracking Kentaro and Isabel, and he meets this gangster named Awut. Awut says that the key Isabel is looking for, the thing that can force the Axis Mundi open, is right in his backyard. Lee goes out to the balcony, looks at a smoking volcano, and who do we see? Rodan. The fire demon himself is nesting right there. Lee looks at him and just says, see you soon. I mean, come on. Bringing Rodan into the mix changes everything. If Apex gets their hands on a flyer like that, or if they try to use his volcanic energy to rip open rifts, the world is in serious trouble. Season 3 setup. Alright, so let's talk Season 3 expectations, because this setup is actually kind of wild. Why are Kentaro and Isabel chasing Rodan? And more importantly, why is Lee doing the exact same thing? Here's the simple answer: Rodan might be the key to everything. Think about it, Rodan is one of the few Titans actively moving across the surface. If rifts are connected to Titan activity, then following Rodan could literally lead you straight to Axis Mundi. That's basically a doorway to time itself. Now Kentaro and Isabel's plan is obvious. They want to use that doorway, control it, maybe even rewrite the past. But Lee, he's probably trying to stop them. No tech, no Titan calling device anymore, so his only option is to follow a Titan directly. And yeah, the Thailand location is weird, especially since we last saw Rodan in Godzilla, King of the Monsters in Mexico, which means Season 3 could finally explore Titan migration in detail. So yeah, don't be surprised if Season 3 turns into a full-on Rodan-focused story. And honestly, that sounds awesome. So, why does this ending actually matter for the bigger picture? First off, we're seeing the birth of modern Monarch. This new unit with Cate and Keiko is likely the group that bridges the gap between the 1950s origins and the high-tech Monarch we see in Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Secondly, the resurrection plotline is a game-changer. If Kentaro succeeds in pulling someone out of a different time stream, does that break reality, or is he just going to cause another G-Day level disaster? And lastly, the Titans are communicating now. We saw it with Cate and Co-Cai. We saw it with Kong and the Egg. The humans are no longer just observers. They're becoming part of the ecosystem. Whether that's a good thing or a recipe for extinction, well, that's what Season 3 is for. Our nerdy thoughts. Woo, that was a lot, right? I honestly loved how they handled Lee's arc. Seeing him go from a man obsessed with fixing the Titans to a man just trying to fix his family was a great journey. And Rodan, I'm still buzzing about that. But I want to hear from you. What did you think of the finale? Was Kentaro's betrayal a surprise to you? Or did you see it coming a mile away? And how do you think Rodan is going to fit into the Apex plan? Drop a comment below and let's nerd out about it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming deep dive into the Rodan lore and what's next for the MonsterVerse. I've been your host. Thanks for hanging out in the Hollow Earth with me today. I'll see you in the next one.
I'll see you soon.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.